I just have this fire in me that drives me forward, that wants to build, wants to learn, wants to be successful, wants to compete. Some people are going to fail and some people are going to succeed, and more people are going to fail than people that are going to succeed. A personal brand is massive. You have to have personal brand in this day and age in order to.
It's refreshing to just have some like no structure things too, just to be able to like kick it and see what people are doing today, and you know what if things been like this last week, what are you doing in the next couple weeks, because everything's, you get so like serious, you get in the zone and like you start focusing on the metrics and like the growth, and like you forget that like we're fucking people, dude. We're like supposed to do the human things where you're just like, if like my business, I've been reflecting today, dude. I've been reading Creative Act, getting into my Creative Bible by Rick Rubin, and like just remembering that like I think the Ads Lab was better like the first 3 months, because this river was flowing of creativity, because like I was just in the zone of giving stuff and I didn't care about any metrics, and nobody was leaving. And like I feel like last time I talked to you in Vegas, like I felt like you were in that zone.
Yeah.
I remember I heard you at the one day with Hermosi say that your churn rate was really low. It was sub 5% or something like that at the time. And I feel like it's because you might have been in just doing things in that similar way of just like, you're just focused on like giving and connecting with people and locking it down.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. And also, bear in mind that it was a new community, right? Everybody just wants to soak in every bit of knowledge, and they don't want to churn yet because they're still hungry. They're still eager to learn.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people will drop out. It's just the nature of people, man. They are not people that want to continue, right? Usually people give up easily. So how do you combat that? That is what we've been focusing on lately, and it's been really stressful, to be honest, like figuring out the crux of it. Why do people leave? Why are they so lazy? Why do they not want to do the work? Why do they want us to do all of the work? How do we make them realize that this is not entrepreneurship? This is not how things are done. How do you make them realize that? And when you really boil it down to the bones of it, basically some people are going to fail and some people are going to succeed, and more people are going to fail than people that are going to succeed. And that's why people don't stick around, because you're teaching them a way of doing things. Making money is not easy. You're trying to make it so easy by giving them everything that they need, but they have to do the work. Now, that's the part they don't want to do. So how do you get around that? You can't. So you try to do the onboarding, you try to... So, for example, what we've been doing lately is we have analyzed every single part of what makes people want to stick around, what makes them motivated, what makes them want to do well and succeed. And ultimately what makes them want to stay with us, and so that we can continue to exist, right? To boil it down to, the first thing has to be an amazing onboarding experience. And what I mean by that is, as soon as someone joins, someone contacts them and gives them that 5-star red carpet experience. Hey, welcome to the community. This is what you need to do to achieve X, Y, and Z. What are your goals? Let me help you. This is the community. This is where you go. Here's the calendar. Here's here's how you post. This is how you make the best out of this community. Basically, explain to them everything. So we've got someone who literally does that every single day, even to new trials. Every single trialist, we try to reach them on the first day.
So what is your flow? What is your full flow and setup with that? What's that process look like for a new person?
I have people doing that. I have someone who that's their day job.
So
basically,
what is, so when somebody joins, do they get a DM? What's that tree of actions?
Yeah, so they get a DM. As soon as they join, they get a DM from one of the support staff saying, "Hey, welcome to the community." Just very informal, right?
Yeah.
Very informal. You know, we're very glad to have you here. Here are some resources that you can benefit from. So they send them the onboarding video. They send them the names of the staff people that they need to speak to if they have any questions, issues, whatever. Just like very informal. Then on the same day or the next day, they get a DM from the ops manager, right? So the growth operator who basically does the onboarding, one-to-one onboarding. So he goes, thank you very much for joining. You know, great to have you here and stuff like that. We want to support you get the best out of this community and achieve your goals, etc. I'd love to get a chance to have a one-to-one meeting with you to explain everything to you. So now, in my mind, the trialist is going to be like, wow, I haven't paid a dime to join this community. I'm still on my trial and I'm getting this amazing experience. So surely, if I become a member, I'm going to get something even better if they are treating me like this. So, yeah, so it goes like that. And then we track everything they do. We check their attendance. We check their activity. We encourage them to post and ask questions and basically everything you can think of to keep them active and engaged and retain them and just make them get what they want and even more. So we paint this picture that this is amazing, but when they get in, they're like, oh, wow, this is way beyond what I was expecting.
How long have you been doing trials?
For the past 2 weeks. So we got a few people through the door. So we're averaging about 30 to 40 trialists a day, all organic, no ads.
Wow.
And we're converting about 20%, which is below the average. But what I've noticed is because we're targeting the Moroccan audience, they have a lot of card issues, man. Like card decline. They're like, I want to pay, but how do I pay? Card declined. So we're trying to figure out a way to, get payments from them. The way we do it is bank transfer, but then again, it doesn't show on the
Skool.
on the Skool dashboard, and we have to account for that separately and stuff like that. But we're still in the testing phase, man. I'm testing to figure out whether it's worth it, like spending that extra effort. And is it working better? Is it more profitable, basically?
Right.
So I think we're not going to figure out until maybe the end of next month.
Yeah.
I want to give it like a full month and a half of, because we started about 2 weeks ago. So a month and a half of trialing it, I think would give us the all clear. Do we want to continue or not? Because I believe that it's by market. I think trials, they would work by market. Our market, the Moroccan market or the Arabic market in general, is very difficult because, there's those card issues, right? And you rely on those card issues, or on the card
processor. You rely on the
processor to actually collect the payments. Then there's also the issue that when if their card declines, and they still have another 13 days of staying in school without getting kicked out. Have you noticed that?
Oh, that's the length of time that you get, huh?
Yeah, so they get 20 days, not 7 days.
Oh, shoot.
If their card declines.
So for you,
do you kick them out or do you keep them?
No, because we don't have nearly as many card declines, and so it's just not on our radar. I don't think we've even looked at that, how many people are declining and getting extra time, because
you gotta look at those metrics, man. You gotta look at the numbers, because it's all about that. And then you figure out, hey, is it worth it for me or not? And what I've realized is that a lot of metrics I'm missing, man. A lot of metrics. And to really analyze it, you have to have a custom tool, which is, I'm building a custom tool just to analyze everything. And really everything that I need to do, like automation, all that kind of stuff, I need to have that, because without having something to support you, it's very difficult.
How big is your group currently? How many members do you have?
We have 1,200 members now.
Wow. Okay. And what's the current price of your group?
49.
49. And of the people in there, you probably are they in at different price points? Did you work the price up to that? Or is it mainly...
So we have people at 39, 49, and 59. Then I drop it to 49 just to test the waters, and then probably go back to 59 and maybe even more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the tool, how are you building that? Like, exactly. Are you building a piece of, you building like something that requires an admin, and basically the admin scrapes data on Skool? I've noticed people do something like that to do some custom stuff.
Yeah, something like that. And it's going to be like so crazy. Like, it's going to have like automation and just like stuff that you need like 10 people to do. So for example, like DM automation, auto scheduling, all sorts of things, right? So basically, instead of me spending all this money on stuff, I can cut down the stuff and have a lot of the stuff automated, and then link it back to email and all of that stuff. Anything that we can't really do now, I want the tool to be able to do it. And I know exactly what needs to be done, because we've tried all sorts of things. And we've seen success with a lot of stuff, some onboarding experiences, how they work, what works, what doesn't work, and then build a tool around that kind of onboarding experience that does everything automatically.
Do you plan on just using this internally, or is this a tool that you would like bring to market, you think?
I don't know, man. Well, it depends on if it actually works, because well, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say no, but if it works for us really well and it shows results, and I can definitely say, hey, it's definitely because of the tool, and this is how much it saved us, and maybe we can bring it to market. But for now, I'm only focusing on building it for ourselves.
Yeah, because you already build software.
Yes.
How's the software? I mean, I remember when I was talking to you in Vegas at the mansion, you were a machine, dude. You're making content. You're basically a content creator. You're also a software, like, you're a founder of a SaaS company, and then you're also running a school group, which is like 3 massive roles that most human beings that I've met can only pick one of, but you pick all 3.
Man, I don't have to do all of it. This is what people are missing. Like, I'm just not the operator, but the strategist behind it all, right?
The visionary.
I don't actually do the work. Like, okay, so what do I do in my school, in my community? I teach. We've done the whole setup, me and the growth operator. We hired staff. Everything is being automated. He runs everything. I just teach, and that's it. So I've got like 1 hour a day of teaching, and that's when the course is running. At one point, I took like 5 weeks off. I didn't have to teach anything, because there's other teachers teaching in the community. So once the course finishes, I'll just be doing 1 session a week. That's all I have to do, and then 1 post here and there.
So you do 1 session a week, you do 1 post here and there in the school group, and then are you delegating or directing the work for the SaaS side? Are you kind of envisioning how that evolves? You have a product manager or something?
I'm the product manager for the SaaS, but I have a project manager who runs everything in terms of development. We have a lot of developers, man. I've just hired 3 developers in the last week or so. So we have about more than 10 developers at the moment.
How do you hire? I mean, I'm curious how you hire developers. I'm looking to hire like basically developers and AI people. And
just look at LinkedIn, look at Upwork, look at different places, and see which developer fits the bill. It took me like 2 months to hire my first developer.
Okay.
And and that developer is the project manager, right? Like he is very, very, well versed on the technology that we started developing in, and then we hired from there. He was in charge of hiring the rest, and he would recommend, and then we would both interview them, and then basically we go from there. I look for attitude, I look for productivity, that kind of thing. He deals with the technical side because I don't have any technical expertise in development. I've never developed anything.
What do you mean you look for attitude?
Man, like, just does someone want to develop because they love it or just to make money? Are they there because they want to be there, or are they just clock watching? Because I don't want someone to just sit there and just, work slowly and that kind of thing. What motivates them, what makes them want to develop, that kind of thing, right? Yeah.
How do you go about looking for that? Are you, what are you doing to find that?
You just ask them the right questions.
Yeah. What's a question? I'm curious because I feel like I can do this on the creative side. Like I love like working with designers and editors, but I don't know how to do the developer side is you look for different things. I feel like there's a different...
So for me, initially, and trust me, man, it's literally a learning experience. The first time I didn't know what I was looking for. I'll be honest with you. I was just lucky that I found the right person, and we've been working together for the past 3 years. But like when I say attitude, I just want to feel that chemistry with the person, Do I feel like I can work with that person? Do they feel like they really want to do the work and achieve that thing that you ask them to achieve? Do they believe in the vision? Would they find it enjoyable to work on that project? You ask them about their past experiences, talk to them about past projects that you've developed. How did they start? What did you achieve? Were you always on time with deadlines, that kind of thing? And if you're late on a deadline, how do you recoup the time and achieve the deadline, that kind of thing? Just these kind of questions to see if they have the right attitude to work, and just go with the flow with that person and see what happens.
And so you usually just feel the spark when you get into those questions with the right people. I know what you mean.
I've never, before that time, I had never hired for a developer role. I used to work as a sales manager and a regional sales manager, so I could hire for a salesperson role, easy. But to hire for a developer role, it was my first time, literally. And with salespeople, usually you would feel that hunger, right? I want the hunger. I want that person to be hungry, like a lion who hasn't eaten for a while, and they just looking for that prey. That's the kind of attitude I'm looking for a salesperson. But at the same time, teamwork and wanting to do well, wanting to progress. And that kind of thing, all the qualities that you look for in a salesperson. But for a developer, I just had to wing it, to be honest. Just really looking at the things that they've done in the past, different projects. Are they close to what I'm looking for? And just generally feeling that person out. Do they feel like I can work with them? I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. But bit by bit, you start to pick it up.
I found that when I'm working with new hires for our team or for a project, because I've worked on a bunch of different projects too. I like to. I'm mainly thinking about communication. I'm mainly thinking about how do you write back? What do you like in a meeting? How do you contribute if we're having a conversation? And it feels like the assessing of the skills that they have becomes automatic, but I have to actively look for and tell them write me along, tell me a lot about what you just, I usually have to kind of come outside myself and come up with a way to get more information about how they communicate and see what they can do. And maybe like long form text or in a meeting or some that feels like the thing for me that I'm trying to do in like a trial period with somebody. Do you have anything like this where do you do trial sort of periods with people? Do you hire people before really working with them at all? Do you get them on a contractor sort of basis first? What is your process like for that?
So with support staff, definitely what you've just said, 100%, you got to feel them out in terms of how they communicate. How are they going to respond to, inquiries and support questions, etc. No doubt about that. You have to do all of those things. But in terms of developers, obviously you would have emailed with them, you would have communicated with them via text. So you kind of understand how they communicate in a way. And with developers, nobody's going to accept a trial period if they've got 5+ years experience, right? Who's going to want to do that? They'll be like, jog on, mate. You either believe me or not. I don't think, and I don't think you would even ask, hey, I want to, because they're already working. You've just taken them from another job. You've just stole them from another company. So you want them more than they want you, especially if you're just starting out. But if you are an already established company, then they might want to join you if they're looking for a step up and stuff like that. But for support staff, 100%, you need to assess them. I've had times when I've employed someone not employed, but trialed someone for 2 weeks just to see if they're a good fit or not. And I actually have a good success story where this guy was like the top engager in our community. And I was like, maybe this guy could be good support staff. I got rid of someone who was slacking and just lazy. I actually got rid of 2 people that really weren't there because they really wanted to be there. They just wanted to chill out and hang out and stuff like that. Believed in the vision, but didn't want to do the work for it. So I was like, you got to go. And we hired the next person within a day. So I said to my ops manager, what do you think about that guy? He's number 1 right now, engaging, and he's already expressed interest in joining our team. He's like, yeah, good shout. So we spoke to him. He was like, yeah, I really want to be with you guys. Let's do it. Since then, we haven't had one single issue. He worked for free for 2 weeks. He was already doing the work for us since he was there because he was engaging so well. Imagine, as soon as someone sends a message or posts a post or writes a comment, you would find him there in that post. Every single one of them, he does not miss. And that's even before he became a staff member. And now he's on it, man. He's like a machine. He accepted to work for free for 2 weeks. We canceled his Skool membership and gave it to him for free while he was working with us for free for 2 weeks. Then we started paying him after 2 weeks, and he's been with us for a month and a half now.
Dude, that's such a different style of hiring. That's something similar happened to us. Sarah was one of our first engagers, and now she helps us engage with everybody because she was commenting on everything. I've noticed a trend with some other groups where that happens, and it's kind of a miracle, dude. It's kind of like a gift that can even
It's beautiful.
Happen. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Actually, coming to think of it, I hired 2 from the community, not 1. So when I got rid of the second person, we already had someone lined up. And this is a tip. Always have people lined up in case something goes wrong with someone in your team. Because at the end of the day, you don't ever want to rely on a person in your team to always be there, because if they suddenly leave or they stop performing and you can't really get them to that level where you want them to be at, and your vision doesn't align with theirs anymore, then you should have someone ready to step in. And we had this girl who I did a podcast with her, and this is how I identified her. It's crazy, man. So we did a podcast. She's one of the, successful people in the community, and she displayed some entrepreneurial skills, some very motivated, very dedicated, wants to do well in general, wants to learn new things, always eager to try different things out and stuff like that. So we did the podcast, and I noticed that flair in her. And one of the teachers, he already knew her, and he said, "Hey, what do you think? Do you think we should be part of our team at some point?" I said, "Yeah, why not? Put it to her and see what she says." She said, "Yeah, I definitely would be very interested." So we did an interview in the view that she could become a content creator with us, right? While she was doing her stuff. But due to cultural reasons, her dad did not want her to be on camera. So that didn't pan out. So that didn't work out. I was like, okay, if something else comes up, would you be interested? She said, yeah, definitely want to be part of the team. Let me know. And she stayed with us in the community, paying for her membership and everything. And then that slot came up of support staff / teacher. Came up, and we put it to her, and she goes, yeah, I'm in. Now I'm in. Like, didn't even think about it. She's like, I'm in. Okay, great. Let's go. Yeah. So definitely hiring from the community is so good, man. Because they already know what you're about. They especially if they already know about the thing that you're teaching. So this person wasn't a beginner. She's, I would say, between intermediate and advanced, right? So she already knew what she's talking about, so she could slot in right away. She already knows how Skool works and stuff like that. We just have to teach her about the processes in the background and how we deal with members from the other side, right? Because she was experiencing the member side. Now she's experiencing how we deal with the members. That's it. It was very easy to get her onboarded and get her going. It took like a week, not even, of shadowing the guys, and she fit right back in.
How do you see Skool in relation to the whole picture of your business and what you're doing? Like, how big of a component is your Skool group to the whole of your business?
Yeah, it's a big part, man. Massive part. Because I realized that my business is SaaS, right? And before jumping into Skool, I was doing a lot of content on YouTube, teaching people how to work in print on demand and driving traffic to the SaaS and to my courses. That wasn't working very well because it was all separate, right? Driving them to the courses, driving them to the SaaS, and they need to learn about the SaaS and all that kind of stuff. Now, Skool was the missing piece, because now I just drive everybody to Skool, right? You drive them to Skool, you teach them how the thing works while using the SaaS. You give them the SaaS for free for 1 month. They try it out. They love it. They become subscribers. And they tell other people about it. Right?
So before, when you drive people to your SaaS, I bet the adoption must have been much harder to get people using
difficult,
it. Difficult
because it's not easy. It requires education, and not many people would know how the concept works of print on demand. You've been a merged by Amazon seller before, right? So you know how it's not easy to learn. So you need to be educated on it, and how to use software to do research, find keywords, build listings, and that kind of stuff. It requires a certain amount of education and patience to see the results. So when you bring them into a community where people share tips, tricks, and stuff like that, ask questions, you have the courses there, you have live sessions, you have support, you have everything that encourages them to learn, and also learn how the SaaS works, and stay engaged with the SaaS.
I feel like you've really innovated that particular way of using Skool, and you've disrupted the typical like customer journey into your SaaS to do this. And I don't think I haven't seen anyone doing what you're doing on Skool, at least prior to when you were doing it. I've seen other SaaS companies add Skool, like perspective funnels, for instance. I've seen that those guys, if you sign up for their tool, they suggest that you join their Skool group for resources. And I think that's a really good use case too. But the way that you do it is like a really innovative thing.
It's like the other way. I'm focusing more on the Skool because that is the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is going to join a SaaS if they don't know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would join it for a month and then they give up because they're like, oh, how do I use this thing? YouTube videos are not enough because it requires a certain amount of analysis, right? A lot of people are not very good at that. It requires a certain amount of teaching to really get. I'm not saying all SaaS.
It's your SaaS is particularly
in that particular industry, in print on demand. It's not easy. You know, you got to learn how to analyze. You got to know how to design and many things, right? So it requires some time and effort, and to get them to commit to the time and effort, you have to be physically there. Like a teacher, telling them, hey, look, if you want to succeed, you got to put in the effort, you got to do this, you got to do that. Be that motivator, be that person there to support them if they need anything. If you feel like they're dropping off, then, you know, you kick them in the butt and say, hey, come on, you know, don't give up, that kind of thing. They need that. And at the same time, they stay put on their goals, and they stay with you in the community and in the SaaS, and they pay in for both the community and the SaaS. So we don't offer the SaaS for free. We offer it for a month just to give them that initial bonus, that quick win, and it's a very good bonus because it costs basically the same kind of amount as a Skool. So, you know, they feel like they're getting a very, very good deal. And then they stay with you.
So I would imagine, knowing now kind of your layout, what tools you might want, which is like what percentage of people are taking the SaaS? Do you have different types of like SaaS retention based on Skool adoption versus if they don't join Skool but they find your SaaS? You probably want to be able to compare and contrast all kinds of data points that you can't inherently
It's very hard, man.
Yeah.
It's something that we are looking into, but it's very hard to, because the two tools don't communicate with each other. Skool doesn't communicate with the SaaS. So it's not possible at this point, but you know, it can be possible later on through API if Skool provides an API that can. But it also rests on the fact that they have to use the same email as Skool in the SaaS. So if they don't, how do you identify them? You know? So we've explored all sorts of ways. And even if you were to do like an affiliate, if they click through Skool and join your SaaS, you have like a referral percentage and that kind of thing. But what if they don't click that link and they just go straight to the URL? And what if they were already a free member and they just upgraded? You can't really know. There's too many variables because it's not one platform.
You'd have to you'd have to decide on some pretty major forcing function that would add a lot of operational burden, you know? Like you have to enter a key to get this. Every member has to contact your support. It'd be a large bottleneck and a lot of work to really perfectly track it.
I think we're still in the testing phase, testing different things out. I've just employed a digital marketing manager who's going to build a marketing team. So we're in the strategizing phase, putting in the strategies and stuff like that. And we're going to employ content creators who will be doing content for the SaaS. So I don't want to be like spending too much time doing content. I want to focus on other things, but I'm not going to remove myself completely from the content, because whether I like it or not, I'm still the face of the brand. But slowly but surely, I want to kind of like move away from that so that it doesn't feel abrupt. And so before you know it, we're going to finish the Arabic community. So finish the course for the Arabic community, then we'll move to the English community. Because literally, technically, I won't have anything to do in the Arabic community other than that one session a week and post here and there, which I can do fine. Yeah. So I think like
what is your
we've
ideal
managed to do a very good job at delegating and getting a team to manage things without me being there. I think we've managed to do that. Like I don't feel like the academy is taking time for me at all.
You were writing your content yourself last time I was talking to you. I'm guessing that for you to be less involved in content, do you have somebody else that's going to be kind of writing and helping you? Is your marketing person that you're hiring going to help you with that stuff?
Yeah. But that stuff doesn't really take time, man. I mean, I showed you on ChatGPT, you just like program it on exactly what you want. And honestly, man, like I've got reels that have done 600k views, 700k views just with ChatGPT prompts.
How do you hone those prompts? Do you give GPT information about what's winning and what's losing? Are you modeling like the Instagram winners, or do you just kind of keep an idea of what's winning in your head and you just make the adjustment to your prompts yourself based on what you see is winning? Like, how do you think about that stuff?
Yeah, so based on what I see is winning. So one thing that we know sells is controversy, right? That's one thing. Two, what else sells is a very, very strong hook that shocks, right? That changes people's perception, that plays on their, that changes their beliefs, that gives them something new that they haven't already thought about. That they go, wow, really? Or something very controversial, that goes against their beliefs. Like if I'm talking about the 9 to 5, the 9 to 5 job. In one reel, I said, you might not realize it, but the 9 to 5 is jail, something like that. But I said it in Arabic, it makes more sense, but in English, it might not make sense, if you say it that way. Like the person who's working in 9 to 5, they're like, what? Jail? How? And then they want to know more. So they stay with you to learn about why in that reel, which is like 1 minute or even shorter. And because they're so curious, so that hook made them curious. Because they're now curious, they want to watch until the end. Now, if more people watch until the end, there goes your watch time, right? So you've got good watch time there. And because you've got good watch time, Instagram will suggest you more, especially if also they start liking and commenting and stuff like that. And we work with ManyChat. So in the end, I say, if you want to get rid of the 9 to 5 and, live life on your own terms, type a certain keyword and I'll send you something that will help you or something like that. So they type that keyword, you send them the link, it's all automated. So now they've helped you with the more engagements. They've commented and they've probably also liked, So like on average, every single day, if I make a reel now, it gets within a day, on average, about 40 to 50K in views.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are you always leading every video, every piece of content with something that is formulaic that you're kind of writing from on the GPT side, or from your own sort of ideas as to lead with controversy and open a hook? Or do you do anything off the cuff, or is it just
always?
Sometimes
off the cuff. But like the formula is always there. The formula is a hook. It has to be captivating, something that just, wow. If you hear it, you want to know more. And then that body just keeps agitating the pain and basically giving a little bit of information and stuff like that. And in the end, a call to action. That's it. I don't give all the information in the reel. I just it's like tease them.
Hmm.
It's like I make them realize what pain they're in.
Yeah.
You know, make them aware of the pain, and show them a little bit of what could be the solution. And then in the end, I close it with a call to action. Hey, if you want to know more, if you want to get rid of that pain, get the thing I'm sending you, whatever, right? Ask for the thing, type a keyword, and I'll send you the thing that will help you.
Yeah. I'm opening up your Instagram real quick here. So I'm looking at your feed. Ooh, I see this pretty picture of you with her.
So if you look at that, see that, if you look at that, no, the one underneath it, not that, that one. So I made it before yesterday, that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it already had, and basically what I've done there, I've just asked ChatGPT, and I said, hey, hey ChatGPT, I've got a question. Why do Moroccans leave Morocco? Why do they leave Morocco? And then ChatGPT is giving me the answer that, for economical reasons, whatever. I'm like, is there a better way? And then ChatGPT goes, yeah, there is. Working online from Morocco, doing things like print on demand, blah, 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 right? So I'm like, okay, so how does someone get into print on demand? And ChatGPT goes, well, you could either learn for free on YouTube, but it will be hard. But the easiest way is to actually go to Mr. Adi POD Academy.
Nice.
And you've got all the support you need, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's great.
And then in the end, and then I say, how do they go into Mr. Adi POD Academy? And ChatGPT goes, type BDA in the comments.
Okay.
You'll be sent a link where to join.
Dude.
That's it. That's the real.
Dude, that is freaking.
And look at the comments. Look at the likes. How many? 3,307 likes.
Yeah.
Views. I think it's about 60K views or something like that.
Yeah, you
Let
got.
me check the views.
1,100 comments. I mean, you got 60K, 68K views. I think it looks like here.
68K views.
Man, dude. And how did you come up with this idea? Did you see? Does this stuff come to you? Do you see other people and you have a source of trends?
I just got inspired by someone, but definitely not doing it for this for e-commerce. Doing it for religious. It's a religious channel. Basically, a lady that asks ChatGPT about the Bible, the Quran, and various different things. I was like, okay, that concept is working. So let me adapt it for my own thing.
Yeah.
I've got literally, if you go down, let me find one that really exploded, man.
100K views, 105K. It's a lot. 38K, 50K, 200K here, 203K.
There's one that's probably got 1 million there, man.
Oh, man.
I think
380K views on this one. How often are you posting on Instagram?
Once a day. Once a day. I've got one that's 708K.
Here's
so if you look at
40. Wow.
No, go up a little bit. So see that one, 708K.
700
with the glasses. No, go down a little bit.
Oh yeah, here
with
we
the
go.
glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
100. Yeah, so
Dang.
it does get some views.
Yeah.
417K. There's one 759K.
So this idea here that got you 708K, you got 2,300 comments, 32,000 likes. What is this concept, and where did you come up with the idea?
It's just my head. That one's definitely not ChatGPT. So it was something trending. Moroccans are leaving Morocco for better prospects of life, future, economic reasons, etc. And I'm just saying, you don't have to leave Morocco. There is a way, and I'm literally playing on their emotions and stuff like that, and I'm basically being provocative there on purpose, so that they can leave comments. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? And what I'm doing there is, it's also, playing on them wanting to leave comments. So I am in London, right? And I'm saying, guys, you don't have to leave Morocco. You can just work from Morocco. And I know, what is their initial reaction? Why did you leave Morocco for London yourself, right? And literally that's what happened. So many comments are saying, you are saying don't leave Morocco, but why are you in London? You know? But they don't know that my dad is English and I came to London a long time ago, right? So it's not like I have migrated. It's like, this is my country. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but obviously I don't have to disclose that to them. You know, some people don't really know you. So they just find you talking on the internet and they just go and leave that comment because that is the most logical thing to say or to think if they don't have any context. So you play on that. The more they comment, the more you get suggested, and yeah, the more people find you.
Is your content exclusively targeting people that haven't started POD yet?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, and so you're compelling
mainly. So on YouTube, I do two types of content, and I do have a YouTube channel. I've got two YouTube channels, one in Arabic, one in English, and then there's also the SaaS YouTube channel. So that is the Moroccan one.
Okay.
So that is. It used to be more targeted towards people that already know POD, but now I'm trying to do two types of content. One for top of the funnel, where I just talk about making money, you know, entrepreneurship, productivity, that kind of stuff that would bring the top of the funnel users. And then I do more targeted stuff. So like my latest video was about doing niche research for what are the niches that are doing really well at the moment, right?
Got you. This one here?
No, the one before it. So that one is the podcast inside inside our community, and I just leveraged it because, you know, we've already done it. I did it about a month ago. I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this piece of content without me having to, you know, create another podcast. But then again, they'll get to see the inside of the community, and they'll get to see how people are chatting with each other and how they are engaged and how they're loving the community and stuff like that. It basically teases them. But yeah, so that one also was a piece of niche research I did inside of the community, and I just posted it on YouTube. So now, a lot of the time, I don't even have to create new content for YouTube. I just give the exclusivity to the community, and then when a little bit of time has passed by, I just post it on YouTube. So that helped me out a lot.
For your content creation, like, strategy, you're across multiple channels and you're going pretty hard on YouTube. It looks like optimized for YouTube. On Instagram, you're certainly writing for Instagram. You have a lot of followers on both. Did you focus on one to start? Did you move into multiple, or have you been multi-approached from the beginning as far as just where you put things for top of funnel?
So, man, I started with YouTube and I had no idea what I was doing. I was just playing around, just throwing a video here and then. It was more for the POD community. Yeah, I was getting a lot of views, but I understood nothing about, you know, making money with YouTube and building audiences and stuff like that. You learn bit by bit, you know. Only until recently, you know, well, I wouldn't say recently, but like about 3 years ago, I started like realizing the power of content creation and having audience. It's so powerful, man. Yeah, you can rely on ads, but then as soon as the ads stop, where do you get your traffic from? So bit by bit you learn. I didn't know any of this stuff that I know now in the beginning, right? And that's the thing, like, you never stop learning. You always learn new things. And with Instagram, I've only started, believe it or not, really focusing on it to drive traffic to it, or to from it to Skool in August.
Okay.
So in August, I was 142K on Instagram. In August. And now we are 214K.
Wow.
And when did I start Instagram? I started it in 2019.
Okay.
So imagine if I knew what I know now in 2019, I'll probably be on like at least 3 million. Minimum.
So what did you start doing in August, and how has that plan evolved?
So I started, so in August, we started going for the top of the funnel. We started going for the, the emotions and the hook, all of that. But before I was just targeting POD people.
Well, August is the month you won the Skool games, right?
No, I won it for September, not August.
Oh, September. Okay. You won it in September.
So we started in August preparing for, the launch of our school. And we actually launched on the 19th of September. So we managed to win only in 11 days, or not even 11 days, 9 days. Is it 9 days? From the 9th to the 28th. What's that? That's 19th to the 28th. That's 9 days, right?
Yeah.
So in 9 days, that got us to 9th place.
Wow.
All organic, no ads.
So you basically leveraged your social capital that you'd built up for 3 years, plus you are able to get reach fast because you built that up too on your feed.
Yeah.
How much of that do you know how much of that cohort that you launched from were people that were following you for a while versus people you're reaching from your new videos that might be outside of your viewership? Do you have any idea?
It would be, I don't have an idea, to be honest, but a lot of the people that would join, because we didn't like get them to fill out a form saying, did you know us before? You know what I mean? So we didn't ask, so I really don't know that information. But I am guessing at least like 80 to 90%.
Because you probably,
this is just a guess.
Would you, I mean, but the guess would be based on like, of the people that you're working with that first month, most of them are probably mentioning that they've known you, and like the people that are speaking up in the meetings and your things are like, I've been following you for this long kind of people.
Most of them have known me, and we have spoken before. They've probably done coaching sessions with me. They've already bought some of my courses. Okay. So there's a lot of repeat buyers there. Yeah. 100%.
And so did you come from Kajabi or something before this?
No.
What were you using?
I was just using a lifetime deal that I picked up from AppSumo, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, dude. I feel it, dude. I like that there's always like a slot. I do the same thing. I have picked up TidyCal and I was using it for a while, and there's always like I picked up
so good. I'm using a different version of TidyCal, but it's so good, man.
Yeah.
I bought it once and I'm using it all the time for booking my appointments. You know what I mean?
It's cool.
Don't have to there's some really cool lifetime deals, but then again, there's a lot of rubbish ones that stop working. But
I got a solid one. I got a lifetime deal on Social Juice, which is just like a reviews hosting platform, and I use it for my Skool ads lab, like reviews, and it's great, man. It's like the top, industry leader in that space, but they kind of just. They came to AppSumo before they were big, and they they don't have a lifetime anymore, but they luckily have continued to build out the product, and I'm like, sweet. It's cool to find those where you're in for life and you bet on the team before the team is on their A game, and then it delivers like a year later when they're just like they're 100%. Launching, they're getting adoption. That's the best case scenario.
But a lot of the time you feel you get disappointed because you feel like this product is going to do so well and it's so good for what you need, but then it just fails, it flops.
I feel like people like you, though, you probably have a competitive edge as to picking products because you build SaaS products and you know how to look at a team and decide, like, is this shit going to be around for more than 5 minutes? Or you probably have a pretty good eye for that, I would guess. And I love SaaS too, man. I love like SaaS product and front end and thinking about teams building tools. And so for me, I just like perusing and looking for talent and looking for who's making what
Yeah.
and who's launching products right now, who's that person making that. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to follow along.
Man, I am pumped about SaaS, man. Like this is the thing I want to do for the rest of my life, honestly. Like I used to have that shiny object syndrome where I'm looking at drop shipping and FBA and all of that, but it stopped like I would say a couple of years ago. When I started my SaaS, all of that stopped because I realized that that's the way to go. For me, at least. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that it's what I like, you know, because at the end of the day, everything works. Dropshipping works, you know, having a brand store works, having a massive brand works, you know, doing content creation works. Everything works for the right person and for what you want, right? For me, I am more drawn to digital products. It's just me, right? I don't like, you know, all the complexity of managing physical things and having a store and having different locations. I don't know. It's just not me, right? You do things that make you happy and that make you enjoy the process. For me, this is what makes me enjoy the process. Just everything digital, man. So that's why I wanted to go all in on SaaS. Like everything, all the products I want to build have to be SaaS for me, or digital based.
Are you thinking about building any other SaaS things right now and anything outside of POD, or do you want to specifically stay in POD because of your social capital there?
So in POD, we are building an all-in-one tool. So our SaaS started as a research tool. Now it's got a lot of like tools inside it that help you, like, you know, like with listing creation, keywords, all of that, right? It is now the top right now in industry in terms of like data and like real-time data. And we have an extension which has literally crushed it. It has crushed it, man. Everyone is going like, wow, this is crazy. It scrapes Amazon in real time and it gives you data in real time and all that kind of stuff. Everything based around merch by Amazon, and it can even do non-merch by Amazon products. So I can literally scrape 400 pages of Amazon and get the right data on it, you know, in real time. We're going to do design tools as well. So you can build your design or create your design with AI. We're working on automation tools for listing your designs with automation, right? And also having everything all at once. So like from niche to design to creating your listing to upload, all automated. So
this tool is huge, dude. I mean,
it is massive.
Your features list is just enormous.
Yeah, it is. It is massive. And that's the extension. I mean, look at that. Dang. Have you heard of Jungle Scout or AMZ Scout?
I remember Jungle Scout.
If you combine Jungle Scout, AMZ Scout, Helium 10, and all of the other extensions, they won't even do 10 to 15% of what this can do.
Man.
When we're off the record, I can show you some of the stuff. It is mind blowing.
Yeah. Stay on when we end this later, because we gotta talk about that. That's exciting, dude. How do you ship features that fast?
How do you ship features that fast? Put in the resources, man, and managing deadlines tightly, and having a dedicated team who wants to succeed as much as you.
Because to me, I'll bring this back on, your features page, your product, to me, as somebody who, I guess I'm a bit of an outsider now. I haven't done merch in a while. But like, this feels more like it's an alive product. And I feel like there are tools that feel like they're alive, and there are tools that feel like they finished their job a couple years ago and they're just maintaining it. And tools that are alive like this, like I feel like you ship features, you know, you've got a new feature here. You're telling me about several other new either features or even, I don't even know if you want to call it that. This is like an entire product, it seems like, right? So
that is literally an entire product. See that
so
merch Dominator extension? It took us
yeah,
a year to build.
yeah. I mean,
It took a year to build that one.
you have your school group. I mean, is that been an unlock for going in the right direction with the SaaS product in any new way, or has anything changed as far as product
Not
development?
really, no. So, yeah, we've had some new users being added to the SaaS, but it's nothing like crazy. It's more like I'm using the SaaS to get people into the to school, but
Okay.
then some of them do convert and stay because most people that get in, they know about Merch Dominator, they know about the SaaS, right? But then where it's gonna like make a big difference is when we go to the English market. So once I finish the Arabic market, I'm gonna go to the English market with another community, a brand new community. I'm gonna go all in with ads and stuff like that because I don't want to. I want instant gratification. I don't want to, focus on just organic, because my audience is slightly smaller compared to the Arabic market. So I want to compensate a little bit with ads.
Yeah. You should.
That's why I employed a digital marketing manager who would set up the whole systems and the team and stuff like that, and go all in on ads, organic, and volume of content and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, with that coming, dude, do you want to call anyone out on the Skool Games leaderboard, knowing that you're about to expand into the English market and things could get crazy?
I don't want to call anyone out. Honestly, I'm not like that.
You're not focused on it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind winning the Skool Games, but I just want to compete against me, to be honest. Yeah, I don't want to like say I'm coming for you and then end up flopping like you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna do my best and compete against myself. I've got certain targets I want to achieve, and for me it's just a learning experience, and I'm just enjoying the process. So what if I don't beat that person, then I know myself, I'm gonna be like, oh damn, I didn't, I can get stuck on that for a couple of days, and I don't want that. For me, I'm just gonna set my targets. Definitely be in the Skool Games. 100%. I want to be in the Skool Games. Why not? We can definitely do it. We've done it once without structure, without knowing about school and how it works, without having this experience. If we've done it once, we can definitely do it another time. And with the tool that we're building, man, oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be a game changer, hopefully. And if it works for us, I'll definitely share it with the community 100%. Because I feel like it's got a lot of the missing pieces. Like, I'm not talking about just school, but about the entire process of running a community. Like everything you need. And it even replaces humans. And it does it better. Yeah.
Do you so you'll probably deploy this in your new in English group. Are you waiting for this internal tool to get to a certain point before you move into the English school group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out what it needs. Well, we're gonna test out things with the Arabic group first. And then once we're happy with, how it is and, finish the MVP, then we move to the English one and then continue building it until we feel like, it's in the right place. And through the tool, we've managed to achieve certain results. Then if people want to, check it out, I'm happy to, talk about it.
Yeah. I mean,
but at the moment, it's not at the stage where I can talk about it.
I'll have to have you back on, dude, whenever you're further along to catch up with how that's going. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves and how that changes the dynamics of you running the group and because it's going to change the way you even think about launching and running and operating, if it's eliminating humans, like you're going to have new resource allocation to be thinking about. I'm really interested to see how that all lands. What do you mean that it's that it, you know, eliminates some of the human things? What things for your group would it eliminate?
Repetitive things that need to be done at a certain time. And and that use certain data, like data bound. When something changes, something needs to happen at that point.
I'll leave it at that.
It can't be done. Can't be done by humans. You need to have a robot do it, because that robot will have all the information in real time. A human cannot be looking for that information. So like that will affect churn. It will affect cancellations. It will affect, you know, when a card declines. It will affect all sorts of things, man. Like. It will minimize the churn. It will optimize the conversion. It will give you an overview of your school, everything that you need to know about school, about your community. It will give you all of that data. Changes of performance on a certain time interval. You know, actions that you've made, how they've contributed to an increase in performance or decline in performance. Like we're talking like, it's going to be crazy.
What was it like winning the school games? How was that experience for you?
It has been eye-opening. I wasn't even planning on winning the school games. I told you last time, right? You know, my growth operator told me, hey, we can definitely win the school games. I was like, what's the school games? He goes, you know, if you are top 10, I explained the whole process. It's like, yeah, now we can definitely do it. Let's do it. And then we pushed until we won. And it just showed me that, hey, there's all these people that are doing incredible things. Why don't you like network with them and, you know, learn from them, contribute, you know, to, you know, just through discussion and, you know, sharing best practice and stuff like that. Learn things from them, get ideas. Maybe you could, you know, move to the school side and just start exploring with things in school. This is what really made me think about building a tool for school, because I'm thinking, you know, school is moving in a really, really crazy direction. And the whole, you know, community building stuff and you know, the way teaching is done and, you know, because it's all like community-led now. It's not just courses. Nobody wants to just buy a course. They want to buy into a community and learn in the community and engage and all of that. So this is where it's headed. And I'm thinking about it from the point of view that imagine if this is the infancy of school, like Facebook was in 2004. I was like, man, jump on it and go all in.
You're a smart guy, and I feel like that there's this feeling that school's in this early Facebook phase by a lot of people, but to hear you say it is like it brings me a different feeling, because you have a lot of business experience. You're in the SaaS space. You're a content creator. And I think if you're feeling that it holds a little bit more weight for me. I'm feeling it as well. But for me, I'm really like dedicated now more to school than honestly the business that was, you know, maybe going to be outside of school. I'm like, dude, I basically have made the commitment to build my business inside of the wrapper of school for people on school. And so for me, I'm in this bubble, and you're outside of the bubble too, feeling that, which feels a little...
Well, I'm going to be inside the bubble as well.
Yeah.
With what we're doing now, if it works out.
Yeah.
So like I said to you, we're building it for ourselves. It has to work. I'm not just going to build it and say, hey, use it. Right. And obviously, I like building SaaS and I enjoy the process, not to make money. Obviously, we want to make money, but I genuinely enjoy the process. Building something from nothing, from idea to execution, from idea that's clunky, that's full of bugs, that's not working properly, to like, you know, a full-fledged product that's used by so many people and they go, wow, this is the best products for this industry or for this platform or whatever. You know, I love that, you know? And I think it comes from the design part, because I used to design products for merch, right? Imagine like you make a design, and I learned designing from scratch, by the way. Imagine you make a design and you put it on merch by Amazon and it gets sold like 2,000 times, 5,000 times, 10,000 times. You're like, wow, someone bought my design. Not one person, many, many people. So you enjoy that creation process and seeing it work and get translated to sales and money and profit. So I think SaaS is another way of, you know, getting fulfilled like that. But it's on a long-term basis. Now, design, you can make a design within, you know, 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, depending on the complexity of the design. So it's short-lived, right? But SaaS, it's like you have to babysit it, man. It's a long-term process. Yeah. And you don't see the results immediately. You see them later on. So you have to have a degree of patience. You have to have a degree of care, of really wanting to make that thing be successful and go places.
Dude, I it's getting really easy, it seems like, for people interested in building apps to build something quickly with tools like, what is it? It's called V2. There's Bubble. There's actually there's all these like prompt based, build your code base. There's one that connects with Supabase that I saw the other day. I was like, Jesus, it connects with Supabase. It'll set up all your authentication like with a prompt and like link up, and you basically have a working starting point of a whole app with databases, with authentication in like 5 minutes. And then it's just like, okay, like let's start building features. Like, are you thinking about like the future of building apps and how it's changing it all? Are you building, I mean, I'm sure you guys have a pretty evolved code base at this point with your tool. With building something new though, are you doing it in the same way? Are you working with different, like, you know, like what's your tech for your Skool tool, like React?
So it will be React. It will be extension based initially, and it will also have a website as well.
Okay.
But it's going to be custom, so built from scratch, not with any of the, because you know the stuff that we're going to build, you know, it's complex, right? Yeah. With a lot of algorithms and things like that. I don't know if it can be achieved.
And you have the talent to do it that way as well. And you should you're going to take advantage of the resources that you have to build stuff the best way you can.
No, I've actually hired developers specifically for the tool. So it's not like they're working on my SaaS. And so we've added new resources just for the tool.
Got you. Yeah, I've been thinking about this idea. You familiar with the company? It's called Every.2.
Yeah.
Dude, I freaking love these guys.
What do they do?
Let me pop them open real quick. So basically, they initially were like a tech AI and like media publication. You know, they write essays, they talk about AI, and then they have these different, you know, columnists in a newsletter, podcast, that sort of thing. But they also like incubate apps now. Like the people that have built this tool, they'll build a new app. So they built this app recently to manage your email inbox, and they like will drop a new SaaS product literally like every month or two. But
Wow.
the foundation of this business is like they report about on email, or not email, on AI in news. They talk to people that are kind of thinking about tech in business. But it's a new, it's kind of this, it sparked this idea that like a business entity can create multiple products with a team and make more things together. And I'm really drawn to this idea. They created this other product called Sparkle. I use several of their AI writing tools. One of them is called like Lex. Another one is called Spiral, I think. And let me see. Like it's an interesting way to think about things. Yeah, they have a studio.
Yeah.
So they made 5 products while also writing all of this content. And I've been
That's
thinking
crazy.
about like how, like for me with the ads lab, it's really fun, it's really interesting, but it's like it's just one thing I like to do, you know. And the podcast now is this thing that encompasses like talking with other people on Skool that are building things, about how they're building things, where they're taking things, and just being able to really like shoot the shit and keep up with friends. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this world where, you know, me and Matt and Joel and my team, that it's seeded out of the ads lab. I'm thinking of this world where we're really just this like creative studio, and the ads
Yeah.
lab is a product, and the podcast is another product. And I want to make what I want to make in this next year. You know, I love playing with these other AI tools. I want to be able to build another thing and it be a
Yeah.
part of like our creative studio. And so the
Yeah.
ads lab is a subsidiary to this thing that we're
Yeah.
a studio or something. And I don't know, man. I'm thinking
I think
about,
that's a great idea. I think,
yeah.
but just make sure it doesn't get too overwhelming, because you know, the more you add, and I always remember this, what Sam and Alex have said. Try to cut down the things that are taking too much of your time and that are not bringing you you know, ROI before you can add anything. So I've literally done all of that. I've literally everything, and I think that was so eye-opening, man. Honestly, so eye-opening.
Are you talking
It's
about
like,
the one
you
day?
know it.
When
You
you
know
say
that
that?
that one day when we
With Hermosi?
when I met you in Vegas, yeah, the one day with Hormozy, right? When I was talking about how much I do and stuff like that, they were like, "Dude, you're doing too much. You need to cut down all the crap. You know, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, or delegate." So I've just delegated a bunch of stuff which I'm no longer involved in, and it still gets done. Yeah, it won't be done the way I want it to be done the first time, but you know, through continuous, you know, feedback, two-way feedback, and that kind of thing, you will get there eventually, and then you no longer have to do it, right? And I feel like I'm at that stage now where I am more focused on what I really, really want to do. Because before I was so in the process that I couldn't think, because I'm always doing, I'm always operating. But now I've got that breathing space. So what I'm saying is, as someone who was involved in everything, just make sure you can step out and think from a strategic level. And anything that you that's wasting your time or that's not bringing you to, you know, good ROI, just cut it out or delegate it, and then focus on the thing that will bring you, you know, good ROI.
When you think about ROI, you first said revenue, but then you said ROI because that
Not
encompasses
revenue,
more.
it just came out. Not
Yeah,
ROI.
but
It's ROI.
it made me think about how the ROI has. What do you think of as ROI for your business?
I just look at it as how much I'm spending, the time I am giving, the effort, the sacrifice that it's taking from me versus what I'm getting back. That's how I look at it. If something is too much headache for me and I have to be involved in it so much and all of that, and it's just maintaining what I'm doing, and it's just making me busy without actually doing anything, I cut it out. That's not bringing me good ROI for my time, my effort, my sacrifice. Yeah, that's just the way I look at it. Yeah, I don't really analyze it deeply. I just think, okay, time. I just look at time, sacrifice, money, time, sacrifice, money, the effort, time, effort, and sacrifice, and money.
You know, there's another
Yeah.
ROI that you built up over a really long period that didn't pay off, you know, like for a while, where you built like the social capital bank and you could just launch something and a ton of people would join. That type of ROI is like a little more hard to track, but I think
Yeah.
some of the things you're doing contribute to that sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you
So
think
for
about
me,
that?
making content is essential.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make content. But you know, when I said about employing a team of content creators, just so we can up the volume of content,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna like give up making content, because you know, a personal brand is massive. You have to have personal brand in this day and age in order to make things easy to launch and people to trust you and stuff like that. Because you can instantly get buyers. Those buyers are waiting to buy from you because they trust you. They know that you're gonna put out something of high value and stuff like that. So one thing I am not lazy on is, or I'm never gonna give up on, is making content. But I would employ other people to up the volume of content, because I can only create so much. You know, that's the way I look at it. So making content for me is something that would probably not, you know, create ROI or bring you ROI immediately, but it will eventually. It can even bring you ROI immediately. How? Is because I can see that when I make a reel, I get a certain amount of action in my comments, and those actions translate into traffic, and that traffic translates into sales, right? Or even brand awareness. And those people will follow you and they might buy from you in the future. So that's why I think to myself, yeah, that I'm going to do. Every day I try to make at least one piece of content. And I've been focusing more on Instagram because it's much easier to make. I used to spend time on making long form videos. It is good, but I don't invest as much time as I used to before, because I can see more ROI through Instagram, right? So how did I calculate the ROI? So making a long format video takes a lot of time for me because it's long, right? So to make a video takes about 40 minutes to make a video. To plan it out, probably about an hour. Because you got to plan, you know, what you're going to say in the intro and the body and how you're going to finish it. And some videos take too long because I do tutorial-based videos, right? Those tutorials, you got to plan them out. Otherwise, you look like a fool. Right? Especially when there's too much action, too much going on. And then it has to be edited. Right? So the editor will have to do it. I pay the editor. Thumbnail design, I pay the thumbnail designer. Time to upload it. So it's a long process, right? Whereas an Instagram video, I can literally, from idea to recording it, to uploading it, it could take me 20 minutes. One reel. And that reel will go on my Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook Reels.
Do you you publish these things yourself whenever you're shooting? I noticed you were publishing on.
I've got a software that does that. So I've got a scheduling software. So I just upload it. I know exactly when it's going to be uploaded. I schedule it for that time, and then it just gets uploaded. So that makes it easy. And I can record. I recorded a bunch of stuff in LA and in Las Vegas, and I scheduled it. And for maybe about 2 weeks, I didn't even bother to create a piece of content because it was already like planned out and scheduled.
What do you use for scheduling? What is the tool?
I use a software called Radar.
Radar. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need something, dude. Would you use Radar if you were starting today?
Yeah, definitely. I'm still using it, so
Yeah.
I haven't looked back, man. It does everything that I need it to do.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it was also a lifetime deal
Oh, you son of a bitch.
that I bought.
Dude, I might not be able to get that lifetime.
I don't have to pay. It does what I need it to do. I don't have to buy a big brand and pay subscriptions every month. But then again, I want people to pay me subscription.
When you schedule things out to multiple platforms, you know, each of these platforms is like, it has their own set of trends, their own types of things that work, but you post the same thing across the board. And do you do any like description or title, or, you know, are you optimizing those things? Is somebody on your team optimizing those like the metadata?
No, I literally just ultimately what it is, I don't work on trends and stuff like that. It's basically just a good hook, a body that agitates, gives some information, and then call to action. That's it.
You have experience. I think it comes down to this thing where your mind like will create an excellent piece of content now with you've got a lot of really good experience and you've applied it. And
hopefully, man, you know, we keep learning. I keep learning, man. I never think I've got to. I still think that I don't know much, and I don't. I really don't. Because if you think that you know it all, you will never keep learning, because there's always something new to learn. There's so much knowledge out there that you have to soak in, and the more you're looking hungry for that knowledge, the more you learn, the more you create better stuff, right? And I feel like I'm still in the learning phase of creating products. Yes, I have managed to create, like, with no experience, I've managed to create a good SaaS, which is being used by a lot of people, which has overtaken all of the other SaaS products that were there since 2016, when, you know, Merch by Amazon came out in 2015. So the first SaaS products, I think, came out in 2016, and those are dead now. They are not even innovating. So they're in that phase of like, okay, we built everything that we're going to build, and now we're just maintaining, we're just collecting revenue, you know? Where was I going with this? I was just saying, look, I just have this fire in me that drives me forward, that wants to build, wants to learn, wants to be successful, wants to compete, not satisfied with the status quo, always wants better, right? And it just fuels me. Like, I don't have to think about it. It just happens. Like, when I wake up, the first thing I want to do is, obviously, you know, do my workout, pray, do all that kind of stuff, and then just go to work. So I really enjoy it. Look forward to my meetings. I genuinely look forward to my meetings. What are we doing today? What have we achieved so far? You know, how long do we have to launch this feature? What are the things that are blocking us? What are the bottlenecks? How can we, you know, solve them? I remember when I first started the SaaS, I knew nothing, man. And I didn't even know how to communicate to developers. I thought that they're supposed to know what I know. Right? You know, that when you first start communicating with developers, you soon realize that they don't listen or they do things wrong. But it's you who's the problem. I didn't think that it was me who's the problem. So I started learning how to communicate with them and how to really lay it out in a clear structure that we can make that Figma and even describe how that thing is supposed to work, like you're talking to a 1-year-old. You know? That way, nothing gets misconstrued or nothing gets, you know, lost in translation and stuff like that. Because the way I think is not the way a developer thinks. They're just very logical numbers, you know, equations, all that, algorithms. But we think about the logic of how the user is going to use it, the user journey, how it impacts them if it's done that way or whatever. They don't think, I've realized they don't think like that. And maybe it's the developers I've worked with, but I've worked with so many developers,
Yeah,
and they're
it's
all
normal.
like that. You have to
Yeah.
really be clear with them and know exactly what you want and say exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that skill I had to learn, but I didn't know I needed to learn it when I first started. So again, you have to be open-minded and not blame the developer,
Mm-hmm.
but realize that you have to upskill yourself in that skill in order to, move forward. And we were getting stuck so much. And at one point we were like, no, we can't achieve this. I wasn't saying that, but they were telling me,
Mm-hmm.
no, we can't achieve this with the resources we have. We can't find how we're going to scrape this thing from Amazon because we have reached a dead end.
Mm.
And me being stubborn and me wanting to get to the bottom of it, I didn't accept that. I was like, no, we can do it. Let me explore. So I started looking at different resources and talking to different people and stuff like that. And then I was like, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try that way. Okay, let's try that way. And then slowly we started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then slowly we started learning until we actually built the thing that we wanted to build, but better than the competitors.
Mm-hmm. You had to push
And I think you
through.
just have to be relentless, man. You have to be relentless, and you can't give up. With anything in life, it's not just SaaS. It's just, in general, if you really want to get somewhere, you just cannot give up. And you have to have it in you. For me, it is in me. It's like an OCD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed by getting to the bottom of something.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't get to the bottom of something, then I am not satisfied. It's like I have not satisfied that itch. It will literally keep itching me until I get to the bottom of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm fine. Then I'm happy. And then I look for the next thing.
Any competitors listening to Adnan right now, you should be afraid. I would fear this man because you can't beat that. You can't that can't really be something that you learn to do better than somebody that has that. And I could see that you have that. And I appreciate you sharing all this. I have one more question. I know that we're coming up on sort of the end of our hangout, but it's the last day of 2024.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is 2025 at 9.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Time flies by.
It's crazy.
Time flies by.
Yeah. Are you...
One thing I want to say is I'm nearly 40, right? And sometimes we have to think about enjoying the life that we live in and not just getting somewhere, because you may never reach that somewhere. You may die right now. And I know that people don't want to hear this, but it's the reality. Just enjoy the process. Make sure that whatever you're doing is you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, what's the point? And don't always just think about getting somewhere. Sometimes enjoy what you have, but have that ambition. This is what I try to do. I try to enjoy what I have, spend great time with my family, keep time for my family, literally leave time aside for my family, because at the end of the day, if I lose one of them, then what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
If I am lost, what's the point? Why are we doing this? For me, I'm doing it because I enjoy it, right? But then again, are they enjoying it? They want you to be there because they don't want to do it without you. So that's, as I'm growing older, I'm opening up to this whole idea of just enjoying what you have. And you may not reach the thing that you want to reach. And by the time you may reach it, maybe it's a bit too late because you've wasted so much time that you could have enjoyed. So just having a bit of balance, I would say, because time just, it goes quickly. And I realize that every single year goes quicker than the previous year. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
So 23 to 24 went so fast. 24 to 25 went faster. 25 to 26 will go even faster. And it goes like that. And then you reach the that point of no return.
Why?
So you got to think about that.
Why do you think that is? What is that?
I think it comes with age, and it comes because we're so used to life and to the routine and to every year going by and stuff like that. We don't really pay attention. And I think the reason why time goes so fast is because we are so distracted. We've lost the notion of time. For example, like sitting on the computer, I can be sitting on the computer for 8 hours non-stop and I don't even feel it. Whereas I remember when I was a child growing up in Morocco, time used to go so slow, and I would be staring at the ceiling. Why is the time not going fast? I'm waiting for 6 o'clock so I can watch my cartoons. Why is it so slow? You're looking forward for the time to go faster, but it's not going faster. Staring at the ceiling, then you look at the clock and it's like, okay, only 5 minutes went by. Whereas now, you don't even feel hours, you don't feel them, It's like, how do you make the best use of your time? Because it's the only currency you have that means anything. It's time. At one point, money means nothing to you, right? Because you can make it, you know how to make it. It's coming from all sorts of places. But then time, you can't buy it like that. You can buy it through, someone can do certain things for you that would take you time, right? So you start buying time like that, but you can't extend time. If you're 25, you are 25. You can't go back to 22. You can't buy your way out of it. So I think everything that I'm doing from now on, I'm thinking, how can I optimize my time in the best way possible, and how can I enjoy the time that I have? Yeah, because we are, we have kids and we have families. It makes a lot of difference when you have kids. I think. Would you agree with me on that?
Dude, it's...
Because before you had kids, it was different, wasn't it? You didn't really care much about time and about, spending time with the family and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, it was way different. I mean, I feel like I didn't appreciate as many things before I had kids. And now I appreciate just everything. All the people on my team, I'm just like, I can't believe we get to do this together. It's just like, it feels like... I do want to spend the most amount of time with my my baby, but I also feel like any time I spend with anyone, it's just like it just feels like kind of like a miracle that we get to do this kind of stuff. But I don't feel like there's enough time in the day. It's hard to reconcile that.
Exactly. There isn't enough time in the day, but how do you make that extra time? How do you balance things out? How do you control the urge to look at social media? That was another thing that I have really worked on myself on. If you open, Instagram, YouTube or whatever, especially that I'm a content creator, right? I have to be on social media. But it's like, having to teach myself not to waste time on social media, it was so hard, man. So I just open social media just so I can post, or if I'm like trying to figure out how something works, or if I want to get a piece of content and model after it or something like that, or get inspiration, then once I'm done with that thing, I don't want to watch anymore. I'm done with what I want from social media. Now I'm going to go and work on my thing and upload, and that's it. Whereas before, I used to get sucked into social media, man. And I would waste 2-3 hours a day without realizing it.
Dude, I'm struggling right now. I go through these bouts. I'll be completely... And this is just me. So with everything, this is always true, really. I'm just like, I'm all in, and then I'll give it nothing, and then I'll be completely obsessive, and then I need a full break with, I need 0% of my energy to be, and so like I will go cold turkey and I will have no social media, and then I'll see something and I'll spend a day on social media for some purpose. Like for instance, like I'm trying to help my mom find a car, so it's like I'm in Facebook Marketplace,
Yeah.
but it's like the cost is like I will get sucked in, and for like a week, you know, it'll kill stupid amounts of time that I shouldn't be killing with that thing. And I'll get out of there again, and it's like it's hard. I've always been off and on and never found a way to fully be where I want to be in balance, where it doesn't go out of balance for a while and I have to bring it back. And,
I think it's about discipline, man. You know, just like setting expectations, saying, look, for example, in that, I'll give you an example, right? So my car insurance has come up for renewal, and my tax here in the UK, we pay tax, you know, to drive cars. So it has come up for renewal as well. It was up for renewal for tomorrow, but it's done. I was like, okay, this needs to be done. I don't need to research anything. Boom, let's get it done. Boom, done, finished, out of the way. I don't think about it. Car insurance, I have to do a bit of, you know, checking the market. So what I've done is I opened 4 or 5 car insurance comparison websites, and input all my information. It was already there, but just like updated some of the stuff. Done. Got my quotes. It's not coming up for renewal until I think about a week or so, or maybe 10 days. I was like, okay, that's it. I've got my quotes. When I have some time, I'm going to go and get my bank card and make the purchase. That's it. I don't have to like, and it took me about half an hour to do that research. It's like limiting yourself. Like, it's like talking to yourself as you're a child and saying, nope, you're only going to do it for a certain time and you're going to achieve certain results. And don't keep looking, because the time of you trying to get that discount of £1,000, if you waste a week on that, you've lost. You might as well buy it for the actual price. So I'll only spend half an hour on it, and that's it. I'm not spending more, you know? So if I'm not getting a great deal, then so be it. For you, you can even give your mum extra money to buy a car for extra price, even more expensive, so that you don't waste your time. So instead of you wasting a week, let's say the car costs, you know, 20 grand or whatever, and it's, for example, 30, 40, whatever. Calculate the difference. How much is a week worth to you, right? And say, I'm only going to spend, you know, a few hours on that. Pay the difference. Say, okay, if the car costs, you know, 40 grand and you're looking for that price of 38 grand, you didn't find 38 grand, okay, pay the difference from your pocket or whatever, just so you don't have to do it. That's just an example, because you doing it for a week will make you lose a lot more money than you giving that extra money to your mom, for example.
Money or time. So, it's like, but money.
It's money or time.
Money or time. Yeah.
So for me, in my car insurance example, if I know I'm gonna save say £500, and if I don't find that quote that I'm looking for within a certain amount of time, then I don't care. I just pay it, because if I get sucked into finding the best deal, then I've lost so much time, and I end up losing more time than the actual amount that I was gonna save. So what's the point? And I always look at myself as well, like when I'm on social media, as soon as I start thinking I'm gonna get sucked in, I'm like, okay, how much time have I wasted now? How much money have I wasted? Get out of social media, turn it off, move the thing, move my phone away from me, and then start or continue doing what I'm doing. It's like constantly having that reminder of how much money am I wasting? How much time am I wasting away from my kids? Because believe it or not, when you're on your phone, you're away from your kids, even if you're next to them. So I said to myself, okay, move this phone, play with your kids, for example. And it's constant reminders. Yeah. And the thing you said about starting and then stopping, starting and then stopping. So when you're stopping, what are you doing?
I feel like it's just a way that I've learned to build a business around this, which is just that I don't have a mild way about doing things. It really just comes down to like I kind of go all in on things, but there's an issue of control that happens, like for drinking, for instance. Like I can drink 1 beer a week, and it eventually becomes 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, and this has happened for maybe 10 years now. So and I've actually just built I've built around it, and I like it. I like where this has landed, which is like the winter is where I basically drink the most, and the most I will drink is about 1 beer per day. The summer, I get to the summer and it's about 1 beer per week, and I recognize what I was trying to do was like just drink 1 or 2 beers per week forever. And I just fail to do this over and over and over and over again. Where I have landed is like, it actually is dynamic. Like there's different seasons where I drink a certain amount, and that has to be attuned to that, and this has to be tuned to that. And so like by the time I get to a point where I have 1 beer every day, I usually notice it. It's usually right at the end of the year. And then I usually just reset. I'm like, let's go 1 a week. It's the perfect time. It's January 1st. And so I just do 1 a week it all the way down to 1 a day to the end of the year. And every year it just resets. It's the same exact sort of structure. But that is almost like the microcosm of the way a lot of things are. A lot of these like things kind of ramp up and then I dial them back, and they ramp up and I dial them back. And so what I like to do is adapt the typical way of like structuring a thing so that it's perfectly consistent. And I like to adapt for this particular cycle. I'm like, we're gonna ramp up, we're gonna then slow down, then we're gonna ramp up again. You know, we're gonna sprint, then we're gonna take a break, then we're gonna sprint, then we're gonna take a break. It's like that is for me, I do, this is how it works. And so but sometimes it's some of these negative, I noticed the same thing in a negative place, like getting sucked into social media where I've been cold turkey, and suddenly I'm like back in it a little bit, and then I'm back in it all the way, and I got to cut it. It's like that happens too. And for those things, I want to be a little more ruthless, and I want to find a better way. I'm not like satisfied with just letting this wave occur, but I just recognize that wave is present pretty much in all these processes that are part of my life.
It's natural, man. It's natural to have these things, and it just becomes a question of can you control it? What are you doing to control it? Do you recognize when it starts happening? You know?
Yeah.
So for me, as soon as it starts happening, I shut it down, or I try to shut it down. Sometimes it gets the better of me, and then I get to a point where like, nope, actually I'm shutting it down. You know, it's like a constant battle.
Totally.
And then you build a habit around it. And I realized that the more you shut it down, the more your brain thinks, okay, it's time to shut it down. So don't go further, right?
Yeah.
So you build the habits around it. As long as you have you read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear?
Yeah. Legendary.
It's incredible, man. It has really changed a lot of things in my life, man.
So how did that affect you? How did you
just learning about habits and how to control your habits and how to turn bad habits into good habits, right? How to recognize the things that are wasting your time, and how to, optimize for good habits, basically, and how to train your brain to there's multiple ways, there's various different ways of doing it. But ultimately, the whole idea is you learn how to build good habits, and those habits become who you are, right? Become your life. The way I see things is you either go this way or that way, right? And then if you go this way, you have, again, two directions where you go, right? So you can go this way or that way. And then again, you can go this way or that way. So you have to optimize for choosing the right direction every single time, because we're constantly making decisions. Because instead of making this podcast with you, I could be, just scrolling through social media for 8 hours. That's a bad decision, right? Making this podcast, having a great conversation, being human, right? It's more natural. It's more fulfilling. It's great. It will probably be shared on social media, right? People are gonna know about you, know about me, right? So we might expand our audiences. Do you see what I mean? Like that. And you got some value, I got some value, and then we go with some great value together. Whereas me scrolling through social media, what am I going to benefit from? What ROI did I get? How did I benefit? Nothing. Just like, again, social media or workout, social media or actually doing some work, right? You're constantly making decisions, and your habits dictate what decision you're going to make, ultimately. So it's optimizing your habits, training yourself to develop great habits, which then become you, who you are, your personality, ultimately.
I like
it's hard. It's not easy, but it's very doable.
Do you say that to yourself? I like the social media or workout. Like that seems like a really effective little shot to the heart to do.
Like for me, I have to work out at least 5 to 6 times a week. I cannot not work out. I've tried since I ever remember, I've been athletic, working out and doing things, joining teams and, playing football, whatever. But then came 2020, in the pandemic and stuff like that, things went downhill for us. We couldn't even go out. Gyms were shutting down, and we fell into the trap of just eating crap and watching stuff and watching negative things, and a lot of people went downhill, so that happened to me as well. I kind of went downhill. I put on like 12 kgs or 13 kgs. I became a balloon, and I stopped working out for a year, and it was horrible. It was the worst time in my entire life, because you feel like you're in a trap and you can't get out of it. You have to pick yourself up and say, hey, I need to stop this eating rubbish, and I need to start working out, and I need to go back to where I was, just a few months ago. I was sharp. I was always, being positive. I was always productive. But then when you're not working out, it's like you lose a part of yourself. You become lazy, you don't have those endorphins running through your body. So I vowed to myself that I'm never, ever, ever going to stop working out in my entire life until I die. And that's exactly what happened. So since 2020, I have not stopped working out. Like in Vegas, I was working out. In LA, I was working out. When I go on holiday, I went to Turkey, I was working out. No excuses. You got to work out. It's like part of who you are. So when you and working out makes you disciplined. It makes you build great habits, right? If you can get out of bed, go to the gym in winter when it's cold, to do what? To work out, right? To do something that is not pleasant to many people.
Do you go to a place to work out, or do you work out at home?
No, I go to a club to work out in the winter. At home, I like to go to the sauna afterwards, maybe do a quick swim session, spa, that kind of thing. If I have some spare time, but if otherwise, usually I just go to the club, and just a bit of a change of scenery as well, so that I can also walk. I like to walk to the club.
Do you do that in the middle of the day then? Do you break up your work
Sometimes
in the middle?
of the day, yeah. Sometimes in the middle of the day, sometimes in the morning. So I really don't have a set routine for that, I'll be honest. I don't have a set routine. You do it every day, but I always make time for it. Like I know exactly when I can do it. And I plan my day around it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think that helps with discipline 100%. Because if you can make yourself do something every single day, or at least 5-6 times a week, then you can make yourself do something else when you need it to be done, right? So if I need to work out and I manage to make myself work out at that time, then there's no reason why I can't manage to make myself work for a certain period of time without feeling bored. I don't ever feel bored by working, by the way. I don't ever feel like, oh, I'm tired of work now. I just genuinely do not feel that. Do you ever feel you're tired of work?
Only if I've lost like the vision of the project that I'm working on. Right,
exactly. So you have to have the vision.
Yep.
You need to have the vision. You need to be excited about what that vision is and what it will do for you, and the satisfaction. It's like you're waiting. You're waiting for that point and you're working towards it, and it's like you're never going to feel bored.
I feel like the most bored that I get usually happen after big achievements for some reason. And I think it has to do with like you're working towards it, and when it ends, the vision has you've achieved this. Like the Skool games was a big thing we wanted to do. We won it. It's like it can kind of hurt a little bit because, you know, like that was only a short sort of term goal, but I think for us, like it became too big of a component of the vision. And so when we achieved it and we had to ask ourselves what was next, there's something off, because I think we took the eye off of the original vision to do that. And I think there's something that kind of hurt about not like realizing like, dude, where are we with the vision of this thing? You know, we kind of focused on growth instead of focusing on the vision of the thing. And the most tired I get are during times when I'm realizing, or I haven't realized yet, but like what's happening is like you're steering away from the vision. You're making a compromise, and this compromise is really hard on you or your team because it's actually way XYZ more than what you thought it was going to be to make that compromise. And Skool games is one example, but what was it? What was it for you?
For us, it was like, wow, we got this. What's more? What more can we achieve? What more can we do? If we can do this, man, we are capable of so much more. Let's work on the next big thing. And then we set, big targets. And then it's like, the way I teach myself to enjoy success is it's never long-lived. It's short-lived. One day, enjoy, great, move to the next thing. Because if you dwell on success, time is flying by and you're just wasting time. For me, enjoying that success was going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, dude, it was the best. It was the best.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But in the meantime, I had, the team being set up, and the team was actually working on building bigger things, So yeah, I just
Where does that come from? Where does that idea originate for you?
I know exactly where it comes from. It comes from being a salesperson and managing sales teams, because your month, when it ends, you cannot enjoy that month the next day. You just enjoy it that night, because the next day it's a new month. So you got to start fresh with a fresh vision, new target. You cannot be dwelling on your last night's success, which is by extension last month's success, when you are in a new month and you have a new target. So the clock starts again. So I think that's where it comes from. And I did it for a while, and I was very, very good at it. I had never failed my own target. And team target, out of, like, in 5 years, I probably missed two team targets. And it was because it was very, very, extremely hard. It was like a crazy target that was inherited from a past team. I went to this club to fix this. I used to manage health clubs, right? Like sales teams for health clubs. And they had a really bad launch, right? And they changed the entire team, and they needed me to go and change the entire culture of the club, etc. And 2 months were very high. The target of those 2 months was very, very high, and it was based on the previous year, and that previous year was the launch of the club. So you cannot have a higher target based on the launch of that club. A higher target than the launch of that club based on last year's performance. It was just, it's like,
you remember these moments.
But we got very close. We got very, very close. We got very close, and I was so upset that I didn't get there. I didn't take time off that entire month because I was very dedicated to doing it. And they all were like, how the hell did you achieve this? Like, we weren't even planning on you doing even half of that. So, but for me, it was just against me, you know. It was me playing against myself. I want to get to that target and achieve it, and even, you know, achieving a stretch target even further. Why not? But I just couldn't do it. There was nothing else that I could have done that would have made us achieve that target.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
It sounds like
I think it comes from that. It comes from that.
Sounds like
all the dedication and, you know, the motivation and the drive and the, you know, the want to compete and achieve things and succeed. I think it comes from that. But then it comes also from having, you know, not having a lot of means in my childhood, and wanting to be, you know, something in the future. You know, my family didn't have much, and, you know, I always had to work to earn something. You know, work for it, not get given it. So I think some of the motivation comes from there. It also comes probably from playing team sports and, you know, doing competitions and stuff like that. I remember I was always competitive, even as a child. So it's hard to, like, pinpoint exactly where all these things come from. But when you really think about it, it's, you know, you pick up stuff from here and stuff from there and from there, and then it becomes your personality and how you do things, basically. You don't even think about it. It becomes who you are. Yeah. I believe that if I want to do something, I can do it, and I'll do whatever it takes to do it. Like, all this stuff, I've learned how to edit, I learned how to shoot videos, I learned how to design, I learned how to build communities. You know, I didn't go to university to do that, to learn that. I just learned. It was all self-learning. But then also what helps is, you know, achieving a master's degree in, you know, international business management, and having an academic kind of path does help a little bit as well. But I think it's a combination of different things.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good combination, Adnan. I think what you're doing is, you're not only just making cool shit, the way that you go about it is very inspiring, and I really
thanks, man.
Yeah, I really look up to the way that you think about the world and work ethic, and just you somehow tie it all in, and you have family balance, and you're somebody.
We try.
Yeah.
You know, it's a constant battle, man. Like, I haven't got it all figured out.
Yeah,
But it's a constant battle. Can't believe we've done over 2 hours, man.
I know, dude. I mean, it's
crazy.
it's fun. I appreciate you hanging out, dude. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Do you if anyone wants to find you and there's a place they can go to check you out, what would that place be?
So my Instagram, you've showed it already, at Master ADP. They can contact me there if they have, they want to get in touch or whatever. At Master ADP, or my email. Yeah, but Instagram is the best way, I think, to reach me.
Okay.
If they want to watch some of my stuff, Mr. Addy on YouTube. That's my English channel. Mr. Adnan on YouTube, that's my Arabic channel, and Instagram at Master ADP.
Awesome. Thank you, Adnan. Appreciate you coming on. I'll be following up, dude. We're gonna be we'll have to jump on again whenever you're
100%.
we're into the new year, maybe next quarter, follow up on this tool, catch up on things. It's been really fun, dude. It's been really real. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thanks.